Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm so excited. I am starting a new series and it's called Outfits and Opinions because your girl likes to yap a lot and I have some opinions. Most of these thoughts, ideas, commentaries, whatever is going to be about fashion, the industry, motivation, creativity, all of the above. So I am so excited. I wrote down like my thoughts throughout the week since my last video because I was like, you know what? Let's sit down and yap. I've been told that I talk a lot and this is the perfect place to talk a lot, right? So I'm gonna kind of give you guys a little peek into the things that kind of push me, motivate me, and the things I think about when I'm creating and kind of motivating myself throughout the industry. Also navigating through the industry because it is hard. It is not for the girls, but you know what? We're in it. We're in it, and we're here, and we're gonna thrive, okay? We're just gonna get right into it, okay? Let's get started with one of my favorite quotes that I have heard. It's from Hyder Ackerman, and he said, creativity thrives in intimacy. I also wrote down underneath that with self and others because I feel like sometimes we neglect the intimacy that we have with ourselves. Recently, I stopped working my 9 to 5, and that was such a huge transition for me because it really gave me time to myself to really get to know myself, really spend time with myself, have a relationship with my body, have a relationship with my mind, have a relationship most of all with my creativity. And that's so important. Sometimes we are so caught up in like the runaround of life and trying to keep up with our social life, our self-care, our routines, our work, whatever it is. And then sometimes when it comes to our creativity and the parts of ourselves we put into our creativity, it doesn't always show up as authentically as it could, I guess I should say. You guys are gonna see me stumble around my words, okay? My thoughts run faster than my mouth. So that is something that I really took note of, and it has been helping me really thrive in many of my projects. That kind of goes into the others part of it because when I first started creating, I started in like a very like toxic environment, but I knew that it's what I wanted to do, so I still pushed forward. But I couldn't have like that really close relationship with the people that I was collaborating with, that I was working with, my clients, anything like that. Like I was very closed off, and I think that, you know, it's not for everyone to get to know like the biggest, deepest, best parts of you. Like, I'm not saying be intimate with absolutely everybody that you come across, but I definitely think that it does push the level of creativity that you have with others and like your collaborations when you genuinely open yourself up to the feelings of what you're creating. Personally, I do think of creating very deeply because I'm so passionate about it. You have to be so passionate about what you're creating, about what you're producing, about what you're putting out, because when you start to think about the rewards, when you start to think about the results, when you start to think about whatever the outcome is of the project, of your work with your client, of, you know, anything that you're working on, you really lose the plot. Like you lose what the original thought was, and that comes from intimacy with self. The original thought that is causing you to create, hopefully it's coming from a deep place because hopefully you're creating from passion. And that just, it fuels you. Like it fuels, at least for me, it fuels me. I think that's a good little segue into one of my other topics, is that passion has to be the driving force. Like passion has to be your driving force. Like you have to feel it in your heart. Like this shit is deep. It gets real. Honestly, y'all, like the industry is crazy. It is sad. It is heartbreaking. It is hard. It is so difficult some days to monetize your work. Like it changes everything. So once you start to create from passion and you start to create from like internally and really deep down, sometimes also too it gets hard to share your work when you are creating from that place. At least for me personally, it gets a little bit hard because I'm like, dang, like I don't know, I don't want people to know this part of me, or I don't want to share this part of me, any of those things, right? But you have to remember, like, that's what makes it so real. That's what makes it so relatable. People want to know you. People want to feel you. Like, for me personally, like, when it comes to clothing, like, it has to make me feel something. For example, like, this top is actually thrifted, but it was really inspired by this Kate top. I don't know about y'all. I'm not paying $2,000 for a silk cape top. Like, I'm just not, right? This top, I kept looking at, I was working at Neiman Marcus at the time, and I kept looking at this top, and I was like, I just want this. I love the way the sleeves are, like, and I kid you not, this is a straight dupe that I just found on accident. But there was a way that that top made me feel like I just needed, I just gravitated towards it. I wish I could explain it better, but the way that I can't explain it is exactly the passion that you should feel about things that you are around when it comes to creativity, the things that you're creating, the things that you're producing, the things that you are buying, the things that you are collaborating, the people that you're collaborating with. Like, all of those things have to be so intimate and so passionate that nothing else around you can come in between it. I literally just went on a walk, and I was in workout attire, and I went and I saw this little like thrift shop, and I was like, this is new. It's literally in the middle of downtown. Like, it's so random. Like, we don't have shopping in our downtown area here, so like really random. This was like 30 weeks of me staring at this top, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want this top. I go into this little thrift store, and it's just there. Like, it's just literally there on the shelf, and I was like, am I crazy right now? Like, it's insane how duplicated this top is. And I'm sure this came before the Kate top, because this is like vintage. Like, this is like, you can tell it's worn, you can tell that it has like some oomph to it, and it's supposed to have these wrinkles and everything. Like, y'all, I cannot even describe it. That is just something for me that was a sign that's like, I was so passionate about this design, I was just studying it, that not even the price tag could come between it, not the brand name could come between it. And like, oh, I just got the chills, because I just want you to have that type of passion for everything that you are inspired by, everything that you love when it comes to creativity. Please, I'm begging to create from passion. With that, this one's a little deep, y'all. Actually, I'm gonna save that one till later. I'm gonna save this one till like the end, okay? So I said, think of everything as something to be perfected, because it will never be perfect, but you will always be learning and improving, and you have to be in competition with yourself. So I'm not a competitive person, because I grew up dancing. I never grew up in sports. Like, I never had that type of environment. I was always just competing with myself. I think of my work in that way too. People are like, you're never satisfied. And I'm like, it's not that I'm not satisfied. It's just that, like, I am constantly wanting to learn more about what I'm doing, learn more about what I'm creating, learn more about the techniques that I'm using, learn more about the textiles that I'm using, learn more about the people that I'm collaborating with, learn more about the details that I know and I love. The way that I keep exploring new parts of creativity and I keep exploring new parts of the industry, like, for me, like, people ask me, what do you do? And I'm like, I literally always just say I do a little bit of everything. Like, I started with modeling, then I went into creative directing, then I went into styling, then I went into coordination. Like, I just do like a little bit of everything and anything. I do like design consulting, I design my own stuff. Like, it's kind of crazy, like, but I think of it in that way because I'm always trying to figure out the depths of what I'm doing. So when I was modeling, I was like, okay, so I'm standing here, but what is that person doing? What are they on set for? What's their job? What are they doing? What did they contribute to this? I want to learn what they did to create this entire project to make it what it is. And that is so important to me, because I think that's another thing about the industry, is that there are very few little like titles, I guess, that get highlighted, and we don't really think about the entire production sometimes, and like what goes into creating things. That also flows into our own work as well. Sometimes we really need to look down to the deep nitty-gritty details of what we're creating and be like, okay, so what about this is what I need to study to make this better, if that makes sense. So that's something that I wrote down, because it's really important to constantly be trying to look for more within what you're creating to make it better. You can't just put something out and be like, okay, this is perfect, like as is. Even if it's just a screen printing t-shirt, like, and I know that gets like such a bad rep in the industry of like, oh, it's just a screen print t-shirt, whatever. But it's like, okay, if that's how you start, that's totally fine. Some people do it and they make so much money from it, and then they use that money to put it into a new design or a new collection, to where now it's cut and sew, and then it's manufactured, then it's, you know, bigger than you could ever imagine. You know, like Virgil Abloh literally did that, but was constantly studying and learning and trying to perfect it and trying to make it what it is, to then go on to be at Louis Vuitton. And like, I know that is such like a cliche topic, but that is like, it is just so blatantly in your face of like the possibilities of continuing to learn and continuing to create. Like, It's just genuinely, you have to be so curious to learn new things. And I didn't write this down, but this is another thing that also drives me a lot. Like, you have to be so curious about what you're passionate about that you want to perfect it. Sometimes it stresses me out a little bit because I'm like, I'll never be able to perfect this. Like, what do you mean? But if you're constantly chasing that, like, I think that you genuinely will find so much deeper meaning in what you're doing, and you will be so connected and have that intimacy with yourself, with your work, with others, and you'll be able to share those details and learn. Like, you'll be able to learn from others. Your mind opens up to where you're around other people and they're like, here, did you ever try it like this? And you're like, actually I didn't. But if you are content with just what you're creating in your bedroom, like, you're never going to be open to those ways of expanding your project, expanding your creativity. So that's something that I hope that you take with you, and I hope that you're curious, and I hope that you go into this world with being willing to learn. And even if it's just like, oh, I just noticed like there actually is another row of mountains back there. Like, sometimes I only see the front ones because of the clouds or because of whatever it is, the shadows, whatever, but I'm like, wait, I see 1, 2, 3 today, and yesterday I saw 1, 2. That's because I'm willing to look up, look out, and look further. And so do that. So I have 3 more topics. 2 of them I'm going to kind of combine. So the one says, take yourself as seriously as you take your work. And I'm going to merge that with working with just anyone will not get you paid. So I say that to say, this is coming from the business standpoint of the industry. Of course, collaborate, learn as much as you can. Like I was just saying, right? Learn as much as you can. Have mentors, have guidance, even be around people who are learning from you so that they're asking you questions and you can learn how to explain things and learn how to explain what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're feeling, any of those things that come into your creativity, right? But you have to take yourself seriously at the end of the day. So when you get to a point where you're like, okay, I think I'm ready to monetize this, I think that I'm ready to really hone in and make this a business, right? You have to make sure that you take yourself seriously as well. Yes, you know the value of your work because you put so much time and energy and thought and care and love into that, right? So you have to set your price, set your tone, set your respect. It actually flows into the next topic that I told you was a little bit heavy, so we're almost there. It means when you show up to a project, you have to show up like you are there for a reason. You are there to expand. You are there to learn. You are there to collaborate, right? You're not there to BS. You're not there to lollygag. You're not there to, do all the things that don't matter. I have been in the industry for about 5 years, so I've seen a lot of things, whatever. Been a lot of places too. That's another thing. Like, you are going to be in so many different places, so many different rooms, around so many different people, that you really have to show up as you in each one of those lanes and rooms and places, as the person that you want to be remembered as. Like, do you want to be remembered as somebody who showed up very professionally, showed up very open, showed up very honest, showed up very, I wouldn't say demanding, but commanding? You have to command that you are here for a reason and that you deserve to be there, because you also have to remember you're not going to be in these places if you don't deserve them. And even if you're faking it till you make it or whatever, like, that drive got you there. So use that. When you're pouring out your cup when it comes to creativity, it takes a lot, especially, like I said, if you're creating from passion, you're pouring a lot of yourself out. So you have to make sure that those things are being poured back into you. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but you also have to make sure that, you are being reciprocated with the things that also drive your business. And I know that I mentioned getting paid, and not everyone is getting paid for their work right now. The economy is hard. Please still collaborate. It's still very, very important to collaborate, and I'm not trying to discredit that, but I am just saying there are times where you do have to command a price, and you do have to command your respect, and you do have to command that you are worth something and your art is worth something. So please stand on that. Please stand on business. The last topic, and I don't mean this to be, I mean this to be whatever you think it is, because this is my experience and it is the experience of so many other women, but genuinely, I'm just gonna let you know what I think, okay? To be feminine does not mean to be sexualized. Ballet is a huge inspiration for everything that I do. Very dainty, very light, very sensual. I am obsessed with the woman's body. When you are a ballerina, you're wearing extremely tight clothes. You see every single definition, every single muscle of a woman's silhouette. A woman's body is literally the mannequin of creativity for a lot of people, even men. Women wear more menswear then men wear more women's wear. So at the end of the day, a woman's body is the blueprint. It is the mannequin. I've had way too many experiences where I am only worth what my body can provide to the person I'm working with. If I am collaborating with somebody and I don't flirt with them back, if I don't give them my body, if I don't give them the energy or the time that they are seeking outside of our creative project, it gets real nasty and gnarly. I genuinely cannot express it enough that please express your femininity, and men, please accept women's femininity. Like, please know that we are not feminine for your pleasure. I am not feminine for anyone's pleasure but mine. But clothes can be extremely restricting. The industry can be extremely restricting. The way that we aren't able to express ourselves in a feminine way is extremely restricting. And so I just hope that women, you know that you can be feminine, and it does not mean that you owe anyone a piece of your femininity, of your body, of your soul, of anything. You don't owe anyone that. Maybe a little G-string, and that's your design because you love a woman's body and you want to celebrate that. Do that, and don't let anyone tell you that it is too much. I know what it feels like to be extremely sexualized, and there's so many times where opportunities have been taken away from me, have been shoved under the rug because I didn't present myself in a way that was for pleasure for the man that I was working with. Oh, it's so deep to me, and I wish I could put this in more and like better terms. Also, another message for men is like, if you want to create very feminine clothing because you think that you are celebrating a woman's body, like, I strongly encourage you to seek input from a woman, many women, or seek inspiration from, you know, women that you admire, and then seek what they were inspired by. You know, there's a couple designers that I know who genuinely create, they're male designers, but they understand the oppression of women, they understand the women's position in society, and they understand the type of respect that they deserve, and so they create designs to celebrate that. And there is such a fine line, but it is so possible. If you don't know what side of the line that you're on, seek input, like seek opinion, and ask women, how do you feel about this? How does this make you feel? Also, women, seek input and opinions. How does this make you feel? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel degraded? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel like you are being taken seriously? Do you feel like you're seen? And so all of those things like are so important, especially if you're building a business as well. Please make sure that you're respecting women. Please make sure that you are celebrating women, especially as a Black woman in the industry. The stuff that I have succumbed to and had to put up with, unfortunately, or even if it wasn't intentional, it is so hard some days to keep pushing. But you know what? I just hope that you continue to celebrate your body, continue to celebrate your femininity, and just do not let anyone get in the way of what you feel about yourself, okay? Like, especially if it's positive. And so I just want to close out with that, and I'm so excited that we got through our first episode of Outfits and Opinions. And yeah, I am definitely going to be back for this. This is so fun. Sometimes people just see me as a little Instagram girl, sometimes people see me as a model, and to me that's just like so surface level. Like, there's so much more to everything that I create, and I know there's so much more to everything that you guys create, and the way that you know, express yourselves should be so intentional, so pure, so passionate, and just keep creating from the deepest parts of yourselves. Spend time with yourself and celebrate all of those things that come up. Keep pushing and creating from that negativity, from the positivity. If it means your style changes, if it means that, you know, your technique changes, if it means that your business changes, through all of those things, let it be, let it flow, let it just express yourself, and creativity will flow so purely. But make sure that you are doing it for you, and you're doing it to share yourself with the world. It just means that you are sharing a message. Just be authentic in this world, and I'm so excited to see all of you guys create. If you put time and energy and passion into it, it's deserving to be seen. So yeah, God bless you. Have a great day.